Hey guys, it's Elizabeth, Finding Elizabeth, and today is Tuesday, January 15th, 2014. Yesterday was my 9-month Surgiversary. Today is Patty's 9-month Surgiversary. Happy Surgiversary, Patty. And I like to do a little kind of different take on my Surgiversary month videos. I don't know how long this will last as we get into the months and months and months. But I just sort of like to reflect back on the journey a little bit and try to come up with some things that I've learned or discovered or whatever, and try not to repeat those 5 million times, which I think I still sort of do. But maybe there's a new one. I did have a big new thing, big huge NSV yesterday that was just so much fun, and I posted about it on Facebook. So those who follow me on Facebook know. But I was talking to Betty Luhu this morning, and she reminded me, and I didn't even remember this, that in one of my videos I had said that my son thought that I hated Disneyland, where in fact I really didn't hate Disneyland. It was such an ordeal in terms of the walking. I couldn't do it. I was scared about which rides I could go on. I was scared I was going to get called out. And so I really hadn't been in like 10 years to Disneyland. So I bought a pass for both my son and I at Christmas time, and he came home yesterday and was like, "Oh, you want to go to Disneyland?" We had sort of talked about it but hadn't firmed anything up, so we can do that because I work at home and we live 20 minutes away from Disneyland, and we already had bought the passes, so we did, and it was so much fun. I mean, I don't know. I had just missed that so much. I always, as a kid, just loved roller coasters. Went on the roller coaster twice. It was really fun. But in line for the first ride we were on, he's like, "This is like, I feel like I'm in an alternate reality. You hate Disneyland." It's like, no, I hated being so fat I couldn't do anything. And now I'm not, so now maybe I can enjoy some of these things. So that was just like a really super cool NSV, and that I got to go for the first time with him because, he's 18 and doesn't really, necessarily want to go hang out with his mom so much. But we got to do that together, and it was really awesome, and it makes me all verklempt, but it was super fun and a great NSV. But anyway, so that's how I celebrated my 9-month Surgiversary. So I'm calling this the before and after the life edition. So we share our before and after pictures on Facebook a lot, but I wanted to kind of look through how was my life before and how is it now, 9 months after weight loss surgery. So, and I'm going to have to probably use my notes because I don't remember, because I wrote this yesterday. I was going to do it yesterday until the impromptu trip to Disneyland came up. So, before, this body was covered in fat. My neck was so fat that I couldn't, if I lay down on my back, I couldn't breathe at night. Sometimes, even when I was laying on my side, I had to like put a pillow or something that was propping my head up so that I could actually breathe. My legs were like, my ankles were so swollen, it was like painful to look at. Everything was swollen. Like my wrist there would be like a bump where it would end it. Now, not so much. I do have like the crepey skin thing on my neck, but it's not so fat I can't breathe. My ankles don't swell at all anymore. They look like perfectly normal sized ankles. I have bones that I can feel. I have muscles. I have before, used to be nobody could ever draw blood from me. Now it's like, I don't know if you can see it, but my veins are like totally apparent at the top of the skin. Crazy. So that's number one. Number two, clothes and shopping. Before, I had the same clothes forever. Occasionally I would order some things online. I would go to Avenue if I had to for work-related events. And towards the end, before I set up for surgery, I had just gained so much that like nothing that I had fit. And I just kept my clothes forever, and they looked, in my opinion, yucky and ratty, and nothing looked good no matter how hard I tried. But I never, ever, going shopping was like the furthest thing from my mind. And it's like, what can I get that will cover this body and look semi-professional? Now, love shopping. Think I might have a transfer addiction going on. Love clothes. Love going to the mall. Now that is like bizarre. I hadn't been to the mall. I had a panic attack at the mall when my son was like, I don't know, it was before his dad, way before his dad. I mean, I think he was probably like 7, and didn't go back to the mall since. So 10 years now. Love the mall. Love going shopping. Love going into normal size stores and looking around and buying things. Even, this is funny, I don't know if you guys have Charming Charlie's where you are, but it's basically an accessory store. They have some clothes, but it's mainly accessories. I could have gone there before. I mean, I could have worn their earrings. I could have worn most of their things that they had, but I never did. Now I'm wanting to go in there all the time. So even things that I could fit into and wear, I'm more interested in now. Let's see. 9 months to a year ago, hated people. Used to be a joke. I mean, I said it as a joke. Hate people, work from home, don't have to deal with people. That's the way I like it. Now, I find that people are actually kind of fun and enjoyable. Not all of them. Some are still stupid and annoying, but for the most part, people are fun. Now, if I don't have something going on a weekend, I'm like, oh, I got to figure out something to do this weekend. Before, I would stay in my house all the time, never answer the phone, which I still am not great about answering the phone, but I will call you back now. Wouldn't answer the phone, would like just veg out in front of the TV for days at a time, or sleeping, or whatever. Really, the only place I would go was I would show up at church because I was on the board. And I didn't even really want to do that. And there were days, I look back at some of the pictures from when I had been on the podium speaking and somebody had taken a picture. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I went into that place. I mean, I had basically just rolled out of bed and got there and then came home and went back to bed. Not so good. But it's not like that at all now. I'm always doing things from the perspective of my work. I mean, I have some really interesting clients who do really interesting things and have always had the opportunity to go great places, but have usually said no. Now, I'm excited. I want to do it. I'm interested in hearing new things, meeting new people. So that's a really cool, I guess, NSV. I've always been resilient. Kind of like psychologically or emotionally strong. So something horrible happens and I figure out a way to push through it and get to the other side. Now, hopefully I think that was actually a compensating mechanism to some degree for not wanting to ask anybody for help and be vulnerable. So hopefully I'm a little bit better in that respect, but where I am strong than I never was before is in my body. I used to worry when my son was little. I worked in LA and we lived in Orange County, which is like 50 miles away. I was terrified that something might happen. There would be an earthquake and I couldn't get back, or I would have to walk to try to get to him, and I couldn't walk down the block. Now that it doesn't matter and he's 18 and could probably figure things out on his own, I could do it. I don't know if I could walk 50 miles, but I mean, I don't see why I couldn't. I'm probably not fast, but eventually I would get there if I needed to. And I just love the way it feels to be strong and to be, I don't know, it just feels different standing in the world or walking in the world. I used to just feel like my balance was off. I was precarious. I noticed at Disneyland yesterday, running up the stairs, running down the stairs. Before I couldn't, when I was walking down the stairs, I couldn't see my feet because my stomach stuck out so much. So I was always afraid that I was going to fall. So I would go even much slower down the stairs than I would up the stairs. So physical strength, that's new. Let's see, what else? Pre-op. I named this channel Finding Elizabeth because I was so cut off from who I was, what I wanted. I was just like stuffing everything down with food, and anytime anything would bubble up, I would eat something else because I knew that I didn't have the energy to go be or do any of the things that I really wanted, that I didn't have to do with all this weight on me. So I just push it down, push it down, push it down. And now I know that this wasn't about finding Elizabeth so much as unearthing Elizabeth, because I really feel like I'm getting back to who I was many, many years ago before I I don't know, before life took its hits. And that feels good. That feels joyful, and that feels light, and that feels really amazing. And it's not like I'm finding somebody new or figuring out who I am, or it's like, this is who I always was. Now let's get rid of some of this crap so that I can get in tune with that. What else? Okay. Oh, yeah. Pre-op and many, many years before, I can never lose this weight. I've tried a million times. It's just never going to happen for me. I give up. I'm going to eat whatever I want. I'm going to get my comfort from food because I am never going to get a strong and healthy body. I don't deserve a strong and healthy body. I don't deserve a happy life, and I'm never going to get one. So that's that. Yeah, not so much anymore. I have a lot of weight left to lose, just barely under 100 pounds still to go. But I have a healthy and strong body now. I have a body that I'm okay with. It certainly isn't perfect, but I like the way I look. Yes, there's a long way to go, and no, I don't want to stop here. But every day when I look in the mirror, unless it's been a really bad day, I'm happy with what I see reflected back at me, and that's pretty exciting. And I know that I do. Not only can I do it, I deserve it, and I deserve to have a happy life, and I do. My life is so much happier now than it was a year ago. And oh yeah, another thing is I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna get to my goal. I have this. It's gonna happen. There's no doubt about that. And the last thing is, before a year ago, I probably looked at this as, it's too late. I'm in my late 40s. I think I've said this before, my son's going to go away from college. I'm just going to become a crazy cat lady who never goes anywhere and eats pizza and Baskin Robbins all the time. It's too late for me to make changes. I am too old. There's not time for me to reinvent my life. Yeah, that one's out the window too. It's never too late. I mean, it is never too late. If someone is 60 and they have an opportunity to get the surgery, I say go for it, because it's going to change your life, and it's never too late. And I think that's about it. Oh, I did want to say, I didn't give my numbers, but I lost 9 pounds this month. I lost 10 pounds last month. I tend to, since like month 5, I've been going between 8 and 12 pounds a month, which is like where I'd like to keep it. I wanted to get to 10 this month. I got to 9, but with the holidays and everything, I'm happy with that. So that's my 9-month Surgiversary. I hope everybody's having a great day, and I will see you when I check in on Monday. Bye-bye.